Our first problem-solving technique of the semester is a simple one. Draw a diagram. As simple as it is, a diagram can help you organize the information given to you, clarify your thinking, and literally see what is going on in the problem. Let's see through an example. Christine is going to visit a friend Carly in Madison. Her bus arrives at the Union quite a bit early due to a warp in the space-time continuum. Christina decides to start walking towards Carly's house, and 20 minutes into a walk she meets Carly, who is planning to get to the Union at the same time as the bus. Carly's driving in, by the way. As a result of all this, they get back to Carly's house 15 minutes earlier than they would have if the bus had not arrived early. Just how early was the bus? You should spend at least 15 minutes trying to solve this problem before proceeding. The more time you spend, the better. Now let's look at some questions to help us think about the problem. And try to answer these questions even if you've already solved the problem. See how these can lead you to an answer. Why did they get back to Carly's house early? If you draw a diagram showing Carly's house and the bus station and the spot in between where the two met, what part of the route did Carly not have to drive over? If the bus had not been early, can you figure out how long it would have taken Carly to drive from the place the two of them met to the bus station? Putting all that together and remembering that Carly originally planned to get to the bus station at the same time as the bus, can you figure out how early the bus was? So pause the video here and spend some time trying to answer these questions. Now let's look at a solution to the problem. So we draw a diagram with Carly's house here on the left, the meeting spot in the middle, and the bus station down here. We have an arrow showing that Christina walked for 20 minutes before they met. They got back early because they didn't have to drive up the red section. They didn't have to drive it from the meeting spot to the bus station, and they didn't have to drive it back. Now, that would have saved 15 minutes, or that saved 15 minutes because they didn't have to drive from M to B, and they didn't have to drive back from B to M. That was why they got back early. That was the whole 15 minutes worth of time saved. Well, that means that each one of those directions going each way would have been 7.5 minutes. But when they met, Carly thought she still had then 7.5 minutes of driving. So they met 7.5 minutes before the bus was originally due. Christina had been walking for 20 minutes at that point, so the bus arrived 27.5 minutes early. I hope this makes sense. If not, try watching the video again and see if that does it for you. And as a reality check, Christina walked for 20 minutes before meeting Carly, so the bus must have gotten in at least 20 minutes early. The 27.5 we got is a reasonable number.